Hello, it's Chandler Klebs here, and it's been a long time since I've just recorded a video of me talking in one of my rants. Haven't had that much to say lately that hasn't been part of the podcast or hangouts I do, because I've done some excellent hangouts with Pafo and Gaius and Angie, as well as some philosophy, science, and religions with the other group of co-hosts, which I'll be doing again because today's Sunday. I'll be doing that at 6 p.m. Central, about, if they're on. So this video is about my goals for the coming year, sort of, because for some reason, I don't know why, but see, tomorrow is May 15th. It's my 30th birthday. Okay, so basically each year around my birthday, I think of goals. What will be different? What will I be focusing on? Sort of like, you know how people do New Year's resolutions. Well, what I'm thinking is, you know, my goals, the things I'm going to do there. And okay, so here is the first goal. Because you know, and not too long ago, my mom told me I need some real friends. Because you know, sometimes I mean I do great shows with you know, these co-hosts that I do these Skype calls and I do these hangouts, but at the same time, these people often are dorks. They're complete idiots. And they have issues. I mean, I have issues with all of them. I don't want to get into specifics, but the same old arguments. I'm sick of people wanting to defend carnism. I'm sick of George and his pantheism. I'm sick of all these dumb side debates that they have that are not of any practical relevance. And you know, Pafo, I was talking to Pafo, and you know, he said, you know, like he only has so much time, like he doesn't have any time to waste. Like, you know, he's older and he's decided that he wants his time to be the most productive. And it made me think, because you know, a lot of time has been wasted on politics, on dumb religion debates, and I want things to be practical. And I want to narrow my focus here, because I've been talking a lot about veganism, which is important, because there's no point discussing anything else if humans for no reason are causing so much torture, so much murder and rape and just psychological torture to these animals. And all vegans out there know what I'm talking about. The reproducing by artificial inseminating or otherwise these animals just for human use, it's so selfish, it's so senseless. And I don't want to get too much onto that, but that is my goal, that is my focus. And I'm never going to publish a podcast if the consensus on it is where everybody's agreeing that we should all eat meat and dairy. Which I don't think that's going to happen, because let's face it, Pafo and Trick and George and I are all vegans, but not everybody is. Not every co-host is, and it's plenty fine if they want to discuss things with us when they're not. But that's important, because there's no point in getting into the block universe, the theories of time. There's no point in politics unless we first establish ethics. And like I'm actually kind of disappointed with that Yuri guy who joins us and his whole amorality thing. You know, that's the thing. You know, whether we call things morality or not, there is a way that leads toward better happiness and less suffering of the most sentient creatures there are. You know. And we should be reducing human suffering. We should be reducing the suffering of the cows, the pigs, the chickens, whatever. And that's the goal. And that is a big focus of Pafo and his particular brand of pantheism he calls biopantheism. So, you know, that's very important. So that's the thing. But sometimes I get depressed because I focus so much on that. And so here's what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make friends outside of the internet and that's starting to happen. Because you know, I hang out with my friend Lucas, who also works at Hy-Vee, and we just went bowling last night, and I just had a blast. I can't hit any pins because I keep swinging my arm off to the side and always getting gutter balls. So I don't know what's up with that. But enough practice, and maybe I'll get it right one of these days. But it was just cool, and see, it's nice. There have been a few times where I've been able to hang out with people I know from Hy-Vee and just have fun and joke around. But we're not discussing religion. We're not discussing politics. We're not even discussing veganism. Although some of them know I'm vegan, they don't understand it. And I repeat, I do not want to answer people's questions in public places about veganism, because it does not work. People get hostile. Any vegans know this. People get really hostile to you, and they want to argue with you about the veganism. They don't want anyone to imply there's anything wrong with consuming meat, dairy, and eggs. And you know why? Because most people do it. And they don't want to see everyone as evil. And I think understanding that no, it's not your fault if you're evil is really helpful. That's why the free will illusion thing is so important, to understand that no, all of us are doing the best or worst that we can at a given time, because it's not like we ever could have done otherwise. We're doing based on what we were taught, and I didn't have a clue. Like I didn't think of meat as a dead animal. It's just normal. Everybody knows this, the whole psychology of carnism. You just don't know. So it's important for us to have mercy on people, because they just don't realize that that by buying these things they're contributing to all this killing and rape. You know, they don't realize it, and that's important to realize. But that's why I prefer to keep those discussions online in podcasts and hangouts where it's recorded and other people can benefit by it. Because there's absolutely no point for me in having a discussion really about, you know, religion or politics or scientific debates in private, because I'm going to forget the conversation and somebody else will probably forget the conversation, or we'll just remember it and we'll get mad at each other or something like that, you know. So it's important to have things in recorded conversation, anything worth saying, you know. That's why, you know, debates are sometimes good when they're recorded so the other people can listen to them. But the people involved in a debate are rarely persuaded by the other's point of view, because people are invested in their views. It's only people who haven't figured things out. And I'm talking young people. I'm talking kids, teenagers, people in their early 20s. Those people are those who are more open to changing, to going vegan or changing religious or political views, because they're young, they have their whole life ahead of them just about. Whereas people who are 60 and 70 years old, they are resistant to change. Now, I'm not saying anybody's too old to change, but I am saying when they've invested their life for decades into something and they've taught their children a certain way, and it's not like they're going to change when they believe they only have a few years left to live. I just don't see that happening. So I don't expect to have this conversation with most people that I meet out in public. And that brings me to my next topic. Speaking of veganism, the last person I actually talked to about it was the health person. See, I joined the health club at Rediscover Mental Health recently, and that's my next topic. Because I had to meet with this lady, and she's actually a personal trainer, but she just runs this health club down there. They have groups about health and nutrition, and they have like this exercise room. And see, I'm interested in lifting weights, so let me get into this a little bit. Okay, I discovered that I'm 68 inches tall. Wait a minute. 68 inches, it says 5'6" here. But wait, that doesn't sound right, because that should be 5 feet 8 inches, because 5 times 12 is 60, and each foot is 12 inches. So I'm actually 5'8" if I'm 68 inches, yet it says 5'6". So that's typo right there. That's not right. So I'm actually 5 feet 8 inches tall, which is interesting because I was 5'7.5" when I joined the Navy. So sometime between the age of 20 and 30, I've grown half an inch. So that was kind of interesting. Okay, so my weight is 155 pounds. My BMI is 25. Waist circumference is 32.5. And then it has measurements of my neck, biceps, and thighs. But I'm not so sure that's relevant. But the reason I'm talking about joining the health club is that's one of my major goals, is to focus on health and getting stronger. And here is a summary, because I answered some questions. This lady asked me some questions about my goals and stuff. So here's a statement that she basically typed for me based on what I was saying. And so here's how it reads. It says, I want to be able to lift and load 40-pound topsoil bags with ease. Would like to look stronger also, increased muscle tone and mass, while maintaining balance of regular work schedule and vegan diet. It wouldn't hurt to look like a bodybuilder also. So here's the thing. I have goals here. And so, you know, since I'm turning 30, I have all these goals, you know. But like, so goal number one was to continue to focus on veganism as an ethical issue, and for the time being, put aside other religious, political, and philosophical debates that are not geared towards that, because I feel that's important. You know what I mean? Other things are just not as important as that. And my second goal is basically to look like a bodybuilder, okay? So here's the deal. So what I'm going to do, because I've done this occasionally, is I just want to show the world that I'm a vegan and I'm very strong, okay? I work at Hy-Vee. I have ridiculously large muscles here because of all the pushing carts and heavy lifting of groceries and topsoil bags. Those bags of topsoil are 40 pounds each, and I have to load 10, 20. One time I think I even had to load 30 40-pound bags of topsoil at Hy-Vee. So this is important because I'm going to be doing heavy lifting for the rest of my life, really. So that's basically the idea, is to get extremely strong. My top priority right now is, whereas most people, their goal is to, you know, lose weight and look good and all that. And I do think I look pretty good. I look pretty good compared to the average American, and I think it's my vegan diet and my high level of exercise. So that's the thing, is I'm going to be, I think, recording videos more often about, you know, how much stronger I've gotten and my vegan diet and all that stuff. So that's my plan. Is I'm a busy dude, but that's part of my plan, is to start lifting weights in this exercise room whenever I happen to be up there at Rediscover. And actually, since I'm talking about Rediscover, and since people who watch my YouTube channel are from other states, other countries, let me tell you about Rediscover. Okay, Rediscover is called Rediscover Mental Health. It used to be called Research Mental Health, but there was something else that had the same name, so they changed it. So Rediscover is like a mental health place, so people can get counseling, they can get help recovering from drug addiction, alcohol or cigarettes or other drugs. So they have like groups for that. There's groups about, you know, emotional healing, coping with stress. There's like a grief group. And, you know, my mom has been involved with the Rediscover stuff for so many years, you know, and there's a lot of benefit to that, because here's something that's very important. When talking about health, people tend to think, you know, physical health, such as, you know, just how you look and how strong you are and what you eat. And that's all important. That's all very important. But there's another type of health wherein almost everybody ignores this, okay? let's face it, people who seek professional mental help for emotional issues or other things, like let's say your loved one died and you're feeling really depressed about it, okay? Or let's say that you have some other kind of hormonal balance where you're depressed and you don't even know why you're depressed. Now, first of all, here's the thing. I grew up a Christian, and I was in so many churches, and Christians have a terrible attitude about mental health because the idea is they believe everybody has a free will and they can just choose to be happy. And this is important. People say this. They say happiness is a choice. But no, if people could choose with their free will to be happy, there would be no clinical depression. There would not be antidepressant drugs. People would just choose to not feel sad when their family members get killed in a car wreck or plane crash. They would just choose not to be sad. And this is very important. So mental health is like my third goal, okay? Because, promoting veganism, becoming stronger physically, but then the third one is the mental health. And that's the one I need to work on the most because I've already been preaching veganism and explaining all of that in many recordings. I'm already extremely fit with my muscles and all that. But mental health, I think the reason I'm not doing well is because I've spent a little bit too much time arguing with some of these people I do podcasts with, and I need to reduce the stress. There's enough stress in life already between my job and all the other errands I have to do and just stuff that goes wrong, But I want to reduce the stress. I've been talking to my people online a little bit less, maybe once or twice a week. And the rest of the time I'm busy with my job doing other stuff. And so that's the thing that's important is I need to reduce the stress. So I'm talking about these stressful things less often. And I've gone back to playing video games that I like. I still I want to defeat that Ender Dragon on Jamie's older server. And I've been playing Pokemon, and my friend Lucas and I trade in battle our Pokemon on the 3DS, and that's a lot of fun. And I went bowling, so I'm trying to have fun because at a certain point, if life is only about problems, then it's not worth it. Like seriously, I mean. Because I focus so much, on how I'm pro-life for the human babies. I'm against abortion and for the animals, so I'm vegan. I don't want anybody to die. But it's also important to mention that I don't want anybody to live but be suffering, whether they're in pain because of injury or because of stress or bullying, People commit suicide over people who bully them in school or even on the internet. And why are people so mean? People are mean. There's a lot of suffering that is caused, by people. And if you are depressed all the time because everybody's mean to you, then of course your life it seems worthless and you'll end up committing suicide or turn insane and start killing them. This is understandable. This is totally understandable. People react like they freak out when somebody goes on a shooting rampage in some public school or something, but it makes perfect sense. When you're mean to people, there's only so much they can take. So if you're a mean person, my best advice to you is stop being so mean so that people don't turn psycho and try to eliminate you. Because that's just it, is you can only push someone so far before they go insane. And I've had my moments, believe me, I've had my moments where I've gotten pretty mad at people after they've picked on me a lot, especially when I was going in the Navy and how mean people were to me. Not in the Navy, mind you. Of course, they were mean there. I'll tell you, Navy people are mean. But it was the people in the church I was at the time that were really mean and were telling me how worthless I was and how I couldn't be in the Navy. And not that I really wanted to. I was just looking for a job. I wasn't able to get a job, but now I have Hy-Vee, so I'm wonderful. I have a job. I work at Hy-Vee. I don't need the Navy anymore, so forget the whole Navy and forget all those people who told me I was too stupid or to be in the Navy, And that's just an important thing. And I haven't told the Navy story to very many people, but let me tell you something about me. I am an extremely motivated person when with certain things, and I've always had big dreams and goals. And I don't know if this will ever happen, but one of my goals that I've mentioned occasionally is someday when I'm rich, if I ever get rich, maybe after I retire from Hy-Vee, I want to get a house on some land out in the country and start a watermelon farm. Like I want to grow watermelons, I want to grow apples, whatever stuff that I can grow. I want to have a bunch of extra land where I can just farm all this stuff and grow all this stuff. I've been wanting to do that. Until then, and because you have to be super rich to be able to do that kind of thing. And it's not right that you have to be rich and work your butt off for years to be able to buy land so that you can have a garden. We live in a sick, stupid society, and I could go on forever about that, but I'm not going to because I want to end this video soon. But until that goal is reached, I have Minecraft, I've got Harvest Moon, I've got Stardew Valley, I've got Starbound. I have video games where I can grow my fictional vegetables. I can't eat them, but I can sell them in the game and get really rich in the game by selling vegetables, okay? So that's what I love to do, is I like to play video games where I'm a farmer. And that's because that's my real dream, is to be a farmer someday, where I do everything the old-fashioned way. No chemical pesticides. I'm just going to grow as much as I can and eat and share whatever I grow that didn't get eaten by the insects. Because some of it will get eaten by insects. That's just the way of life, okay? But insects need to eat too, people. Insects are people too. So anyway, I feel like I've said everything I need to say, so I think I'm going to end this video. Thank you for listening to that rant. Okay, bye.